morning. Today is Monday, Yud Zayin Shvat, Tovshin Ayin Zayin. We are in Teres Menachem, Sefer Mamorim, Tovshin Yud Gimel, the Mamar of Purim. Vayehi Oimein as Hadassha. We are on page Kuf Hey. We're up to Ois Hey, chapter 5. The Rebbe explained that there are two levels in the neshama. There's the level of the neshama known as Yaakov, which is the lower level, the level of the neshama that clothes itself in the body. Then there is the level of the neshama, which is known as Yisrael. That's the level of the neshama, the level of the soul that remains transcendent, does not clothe itself in the body. And correspondingly, there are levels in love of Hashem which correspond to each of these two levels. The love of b'chol levavcha or b'chol nafshecha, being as they are, related to the life force that clothes itself in the world in one way or another. That's why they are connected to the level of Yaakov, of the neshama, whereas the level of Avas Hashem, love of Hashem, of b'chol me'edecha, which is limitless, is connected to the level of the neshama known as Yisrael. Chapter 5. However, concerning the time of exile, it says, and I will hide my face, or my pnimius. The literal meaning is I will hide my face. The deeper meaning is that the pnimius is concealed. The inner dimension is concealed. In the deeper sense, this is a reference to the love that emanates from the inner dimension of the soul. Ponai. Pnimis haneshama. That level of ava is concealed, that level of love is concealed. What does that mean? Hine, says the Rebbe, say that who. What is the order of serving in serving Hashem? The order is in order to arrive at the level of loving Hashem with all your might, meaning to say the deeper level of Avas Hashem, the higher level of Avas Hashem, love of Hashem, that the Rebbe articulated previously, which is the love that emanates from the essence of the soul. The limitless love, tzarich liyis, in order to arrive at that level, tzarich liyis hakadam sa'aveda, there first needs to be preceded with serving Hashem, shal pitam vadas, serving Hashem with the levels that are within the frame of rationality. Meaning to say, serving Hashem with the levels that relate to the inner, to the immanent dimension of the soul, to the level of the soul that clothes itself in the body. Those are the levels of love. The first two levels of Avas Hashem, which are what? The love of Hashem with all your heart and with all your soul, because as mentioned in the previous part of this Ois, in yesterday's Shiur, that the love of b'chol levavcha, b'chol nafshecha, relate to which level of the soul? To the level of the soul known as Yaakov. That is the level of the soul that clothes itself in the body. Meaning to say, that's why it's referred to the avodah shal pitam vadas, meaning to say they are related to faculties of the soul that are internal. And only after one has first experienced loving Hashem b'chol levavcha b'chol nafshecha, these two levels, he is given from above as a gift. Also the love of what? Of b'chol medecha, with all your might, the level which is completely beyond the confines of the faculties of the soul. It's similar to what the Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya, that there is a Beinani and there's a Tzaddik. Midas ha-Beinani, midas kol Adam, the measure of the Beinani measure, as it were, the Beinani goal is related to every person. That is within the grasp of every person. Every person could be a Beinani through their own effort, through their own work. Whereas to be a tzaddik, once one arrives at that level, that's avodas matona eteris kunaschem, that comes from above. Hashem has to bestow that from above. Similarly here, if one first experiences, those two levels of love, then from above Hashem gifts him the level of V'chol Me'odecha. Befrat, this is particularly true when one is submerged in matters of lusts and desires, meaning gashmistic, material lusts and desires. It's then that his love hides and is submerged in the matters in which he lusts. Meaning to say, for although this love is bestowed from above, comes from above, in a transcendent manner, so then why could there be any interference? It would seem that irrespective of the condition of the person, if it's bestowed from above and it remains transcendent, what does it matter where the spiritual condition of the person is? Says the Rebbe, the fact that the love remains transcendental, it's because this type of love is essentially, innately concealed. It's that kind of love. It's a transcendent type of love, which necessarily, naturally remains, or is, one of its characteristics is that it remains in a concealed manner. That's the idea of something which is transcendent. That relative to the inner dimension, the inner aspect of that which it remains transcendent, it is concealed. So that's a natural concealment, right? But through the fact that one is submerged in matters of lusts, it's not only that the love is concealed on its own. It hides, it becomes hidden in the matters of his lusts, right? So, I guess this is the explanation. The Rebbe doesn't really connect it to that in that way, but this is perhaps the idea of astir. It's a double concealment. The first concealment is because the love on its own is a concealed type of love, because it's transcendent. But then there's an additional hester, an additional concealment as a result of the person's submergence, as it were, the person's involvement in matters of taivas, which covers up this love even more. The second one.
Comes from the age of one hidden comes from us.
Correct. This is the general idea of the time of exile. Top of Kuvav. We leave Eretz Yisrael. Mentioned before that the idea of Yisrael is what? Lirosh. Meaning to say Yisrael, Eretz Yisrael. So Golus means we leave Eretz Yisrael. We've been exiled from Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel. And in Avodah it means we've been exiled from where? From this dimension of Yisrael, of the soul. V'zehu in Chutz La'aretz, which is the idea of being outside of the land. Hainu Chutz mibchinas lirosh, outside of the aspect of the soul known as lirosh Yisrael, the higher dimension of the soul. This is concerning which the Zohar says on the verse in Shir HaShirim, Ani Yishena. The pasuk in Shir HaShirim is, I'm asleep, but my heart is awake. So the Zohar says, Ani Yishena, I am asleep. When is this, says the Zohar? Bigalusa, in the time of exile. Shezman HaGolusa Inishal Shina, the time of exile, is the idea of sleep. Shechseira is bonus v'sogya. There's a lacking in the contemplation and in comprehension of godliness. That's why also the love of the level of B'chol Me'odecha, this transcendent love, which emanates from the aspect of the soul of Yisrael, is concealed. This is the concealment. Now the Rebbe is going to go on to the next part of the pasuk. V'libi eir, my heart is awake. We'll continue Mitzvah Shem tomorrow.